could not possibly be the Platt's Picks pod without Platt. Mr. Ryan Platt, what is going on?
What's going on, my man?
I know you probably can't tell by my expression on my face right now, but I am pissed.
So like ESPN announcers.
That's hilarious, by the way. I hope that they continue to talk like that during hockey games because that'd be phenomenal. Actually add some entertainment and personality to these people. But I am very pissed. And we're going to talk about that a lot. We can start. Let's just backtrack all the way to last weekend's college football slate, okay? We both call our shot, let the nuts hang. Texas Moneyline, right?
Yeah.
They're up by 30 damn points at one point in this game.
Dude.
And they don't win. They didn't win, by the way. They did. So that our call. We let the nuts hang for no reason because Texas couldn't pull it off. What in the world happened during this game? What were you doing during it? What were the emotions like?
I started off at work. Don't know why they scheduled me on Saturdays because I just sit at my desk and watch college football. I just don't understand it. I'm watching. I was like, man, Texas is up 21-28. I'm like, dude, Texas has us in the bag. Then I get home. I put on the TV. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little too close. Come on, Texas. You know? And what made it worse, they didn't even cover. Texas was plus 3.5. They were plus 3.5. Oklahoma's driving that last drive. I was like, all right, cool. At least we'll get the cover. Because I had Texas plus 3.5 in a couple parlays. They didn't even cover that because they let the dude go in for a touchdown.
Why does part of me feel like we need a show to give our bets of the week and then another show afterwards to just bitch about the ones that didn't go right?
That had to be one of the worst, bad beats for me.
Yeah, Sports Center, you see those segments.
Yeah.
The bad beats, man. That's the definition right there.
I'm trying to think. Was that? Yeah, that's probably the worst one in a while. That or before the MLB playoffs, I had Dodgers first 5. Moneyline to cash a parlay. Scherzer's on the mound. They're up 4. He gives up 4 runs in the 4th inning, and they tie, and I don't win anything.
Oh man, it's so stupid. Yesterday, this is why I wanted to come on here. This is the main reason, that we're kicking off the show talking about this. Pens, Lightning, right? Opening night. No Sidney Crosby, no Evgeny Malkin, no Jake Gensel. I know that there's a lot of speculation that the Lightning would just blow the Pens out of the water because of that. This is how much respect I have for Mike Sullivan. I knew that he would just be emphasizing the defensive games, that type of system, that's the perfect game for his coaching style, and they would just try everything in their power to shut down the Lightning. Vasilevsky, best goaltender in the world on the other side against a depleted Pens forward group. I'm like, this is going to be like a 2-1 game. Okay? I don't know who's going to win it. Probably the Lightning, but there's no way it's going over 6 goals. So I went under 6 on this game. It is 2-0 with 8.5 minutes left. Dom Simone throws a puck at the net that Vasilevsky just doesn't see. It goes in. Now it's 3-0 with about 8 minutes left, and I'm like, whatever. Okay? Tampa, John Cooper, I'm guessing bet the over on this game, the Lightning coach. I want this to be looked into, by the way. I need to know if that man bet the over. Starts pulling his goalie with 6 minutes left. This is unheard of, by the way. If you watch hockey at all, you know that this does not happen. John Cooper, the Lightning coach, decides to start pulling his goalie at this point. They get a goal. So now all of a sudden they're thinking they have life. So why not pull the goalie again? Within 30 seconds of the puck dropping after they make it 3-1, their defenseman and forward going after the puck run into each other at the blue line. And Teddy Bluter comes in on a breakaway with an empty net. He obviously scores. So now it's 4-1. Now there can't be another goal, right? They're up 3 goals again. The Pens are up 3 goals again. You're not coming back 3 goals with 3 minutes left. John Cooper does not care. He's pulling his goalie again. And guess what? The Lightning score again. Now we're at 6. So it's dead. The bet's dead at this point. And just for fun, they're going to pull their goalie again, and Brian Russ is going to add a third empty netter. 3 empty netters in the same game. This doesn't happen. People were making fun of me putting out the under 6 and people prematurely congratulating the bet. This does not happen. It won't happen again. Opening night is just so weird across every single sport. I guarantee you will not see another team pull their goalie in the fashion that the Lightning just did last night. And it's horrible. I'm upset about it. And it still somehow didn't piss me off more than what happened an hour later with the Dodgers and Giants. On a six-leg parlay, all I need to have happen, every player that I bet to get a hit, they got a hit. Okay, so I'm good there. Within the first 2 innings, they get a hit. So I'm good there. Dodgers money line, that's looking good throughout. All I needed to happen was the Giants to lose by 4 runs or less. Seems reasonable, right? Especially considering they went into the bottom of the 8th inning. Literally, they only have one more at bat because the Dodgers aren't going to bat in the bottom of the 9th. There's one out, and Will Smith hits a 2-run homer to give him a 5-run lead. I'm sitting like it's a joke at this point. Like I don't know what I did wrong, but obviously it was something. People are out to get me. I could not win a bet to save my life this past weekend.
Real quick, while you're ranting.
Oh, I'm done. That was it.
How much of an idiot is Deshaun Jackson, dude? Oh my God. He caught the pass. Jukes out 2 defenders. He's running. I was like, oh my God, this plus 360 touchdown is going to hit.
Yeah.
He just steps out of bounds at the 10. He could have juked another guy probably and got in the end zone, but just stepped right out of bounds. And that was his only catch. So
yeah, right. It was. And he was like second or third on the team in receiving for the night just because of that one catch.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're going to do now, now that we're done ranting and stuff, for some reason, I'm deciding to place more bets in the NHL, even after what happened last night. So if we do have NHL bets, we're going to talk about them. I also have one play for tomorrow night's Game 5 between the Dodgers and Giants. Again, why am I betting on this based off what happened in Game 4? Because I'm an idiot. And then, of course, we're going to do our NFL and college football slates. So let's just start with our NHL plays. For me, I'm just putting a little parlay on literally every single game, just seeing if I can strike some magic there. I'm going Toronto money line, and I'm a little weary about doing this. This one was literally a toss-up for me. I'm not going with them to cover this because no Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. Did they start? Yeah, they probably started by now. So I don't know if Mitch Marner's even playing as the time of recording this. He was a game time decision. I haven't seen if he's playing. So Toronto money line. This one, I know that I'm actually betting against myself because I'm sprinkling something else on the other team here. But Colorado money line I'm putting in here. Nathan McKinnon is out for this opener though, after testing positive for COVID. So we'll see how that plays out for them. I still like them to win this game. Chicago obviously has Fleury. They've made some changes there. I got to see it happen. They're a popular pick actually this year to make the playoffs. I know Gumpy from Pat McAfee's show is high on the Blackhawks this year. And that dude's a betting wizard. So Winnipeg money line over the Ducks. That's an easy one for me, as is Edmonton over Vancouver money line. And then I'm going under 6.5 on the Rangers and Caps. No Nicholas Backstrom for the Capitals. Alex Ovechkin, I believe, is going to play, but he's a little bit banged up. But he plays through everything. And then on the Rangers side of things, they're pretty much fully healthy, but they got a lot of new faces. They have like a youth movement going on there. I just don't think they're going to be gelling yet, so I'm going under 6.5 total goals in that game. I put $5 on it at plus 1090 for that parlay. So, like I said, just a little $5 5-way parlay that I'm actually not super confident in, but I got to bet on something.
Yeah, exactly. Sports are so much better whenever you're gambling on the game. Like, it's just so much better.
It's better until you lose, and then it's worse.
yeah. But I did Edmonton money line.
There we go.
This is a parlay. The Jets money line, and then like you said, the Toronto game's iffy, but I just went Toronto money line.
I think Mike has Canadians, right? He's going.
Yeah. And then I have a couple single bets. I have Blackhawks money line.
Yep.
I think they'll keep it close, and they might even like sneak out a W. I like Edmonton minus 1.5 against Vancouver. Then I have the Ducks under 2.5 goals.
Oh, okay.
Tonight.
I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So those are just my hockey bets. I'm not as good at hockey as I am college football because I'm fairly new into watching hockey. So.
Hey, maybe on Action pretty soon they'll show you as like a recommended bettor.
maybe.
My MLB play tomorrow for Game 5. I'm going Dodgers minus 1.5. Trey Turner 2+ hits. Chris Bryant to have a hit and Corey Seager to have an RBI. Little $5 bet on that can cash you $85.50. Trey Turner's been red hot. Has multiple hits in, I think, 3 out of the 4 games in this series already. Chris Bryant has a hit in back-to-back games. It was tough. I was like, somebody's got to drive in runs, obviously, for the Dodgers. Who's it going to be? It was a toss up for me between Corey Seager and Justin Turner. I already bet on Justin Turner in game 2 or 3 to have an RBI, and he didn't in that game. So I was like, all right, well, we're turning it back around. We're going with Corey Seager this time. Like I said, just $5, chance to win $85 off of it. And I mean, honestly, the only thing that I'm kind of worried about here is Trey Turner going to have 2 hits. He's getting 1. Yeah. The dude's a beast, but is he getting 2 hits?
Yeah. I didn't put a same game parlay in for that, but I will. But I am leaning Dodgers.
Yeah, so the pitching matchup is going to be Julio Yurius versus Logan Webb. Yeah. I'm also probably going to, and this is the thing, I placed this on FanDuel. We had this conversation off air before we start recording. The thing that I prefer about DraftKings is like the alternate stuff that you can do. Like you can bet like for Logan Webb to give up like 2+ hits. Now it's not going to give great odds, but when you include that in a same game parlay, that boosts that type of stuff. So I'll probably do something else there with that. Like, Yurius, like 4+ strikeouts, Logan Webb to give up 2 or more hits, stuff like that just really like kind of juices that same game parlay. So yeah, I'm probably gonna play something else on DraftKings. That's just on FanDuel. So, all right, now what the people are actually here for. 12 minutes in, we're about to finally start talking about our NFL bets. Tomorrow night, Tampa Bay 7-point favorites over Philly. I'm not necessarily surprised Tampa Bay 7-point favorites here, but it is a short week. Tom Brady not 100% healthy. Philadelphia coming off actually a winning effort against the Carolina Panthers in a little bit of a surprise fashion. What do we got here?
Eagles +7.
Fly. Wow.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay.
Eagles +7. The reason I say this.
Is it short week? Is it Tom Brady's health? What's going on?
It's short week. Tampa's a little bit banged up. I like Hurts to score a touchdown as well.
Okay.
Tampa Bay is just banged up right now. They just beat the living crap out of the Dolphins last week. But it's going to be a short week. I think they keep it close. Obviously, Philly don't really have a good defense either, but they're less banged up, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to add this other stuff because now I can't. Hold on. Yeah, so my same game parlay for this is going to be a $5 bet that can cash you $149.89. So I'm going Tampa money line, but also under 52.5. Short week, Tom Brady with a bad thumb. I think that he's going to still be effective. The question is, how effective is he going to be? They could lean on the running game a little bit more, which is why I'm including a Leonard Fournette anytime touchdown in this. And then also Zach Ertz anytime touchdown because no Dallas Goedert for Philadelphia. So actually, I'm kind of inclined to add a Mike Evans touchdown.
It's just so hard because
we're not going to do it. We're just going to stick. We're just stick with what I said. Tampa money line under 52.5. Zach Ertz touchdown. Leonard Fournette touchdown. $5 wins you $115.70.
I like it.
There it is. Very low risk. Very low risk.
I kind of like. Hold on, let me see what his line is.
I'm hesitant to add that Mike Evans touchdown, even though he seems to always ball out on Thursday Night Football. Just because of Brady's thumb.
I hate that this number is so low, but the Eagles hate him. Miles Sanders, I just don't understand why they hate him so much.
He does not touch the ball.
His over/under is 34.5.
Rushing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'd sprinkle that, and the reason is because he could get that on one touch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kind of like that Saquon stuff.
I'm not going to throw stacks on it, but you might as well put something. What are the odds? I mean,
it's -114.
Okay.
So 20. I mean, 20 would win.
But that's not a bad. That's not a bad thing to add to a same game parlay.
Yeah. No. So I agree.
But that's another thing where I would be scouring, the different sports books and seeing what the different odds look like on that same prop.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on then. Boston came in here and said Sunday Night Football exclamation point. Yeah, we'll get there. Miami -3 against Jacksonville here. I know it's pretty early, but I can't talk about this game yet.
Oh God. Okay. I'm not touching this. These two teams are terrible.
Tua potentially back for the Dolphins. That's
Tua
really the only...
is potentially back, but
Yeah.
I just can't.
47 points. You don't like that either?
I mean, if anything, that's probably it. But I mean, Miami just is not a good football team lately. And the Jags are the Jags.
The second lowest point total for the week in this game. Indy, 10-point favorites over Houston. 10 points. See, Houston, the way that they looked against New England, like I'm inclined to take Houston with the points here, but like Davis Mills, are we getting the Davis Mills that showed up?
Dude,
in that
I
Thursday
said that
game,
last week, like he is terrible, and then he goes out.
He played pretty well.
He played pretty well, and the Colts just blew that Monday night game. Like
that's the thing. Are the Colts going to be like at an all-time low because of blowing that lead, or are they going to be like so pissed off that it like revamps them?
I kind of like Houston to cover. I think. I mean, the Colts are a mess right now. Like
I refuse. I think listen. I mean, I think we could go back in every single week and say that I didn't bet on the game that Houston was playing in. I didn't even like want to bet on Buffalo to cover, even though that was such a large spread. And I don't think I've bet on any game that Houston's been a part of, and that's continuing this week. I just refuse to touch them.
Yeah, I mean, I did like a couple games, like a live bet, but Houston, like, it's not good. Their quarterback stinks. Their whole team stinks.
This is one of the great rivalries in the NFL. Green Bay 4.5-point favorites over the Bears. 44.5 points is the total in this game. This is also tough because the Bears had a really nice game against the Raiders. The defense, played out of their minds, and they also put up over 20 points. Justin Fields is QB1 now going forward officially. What do you think about this game?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the over, to be honest. 44.
44.5. It is a relatively low total. I think that's the third lowest total of the week. So
yeah, I don't really know why it's that low. I mean, the Bears with Fields, I mean, underdogs last week, they beat Vegas.
Vegas was also like they already knew about some of the stuff going on with Gruden at that point. So it's kind of wild that he even coached that game. But there's a lot of speculation that those guys just did not want to play for him.
And the Packers are in Chicago for that game.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm going the over on this game. That's my only pick. 4.5 for me. Watching Green Bay play, like they didn't really impress me even against us. And then they go to overtime with Cincinnati. And granted, there was like 4 missed kicks in that game. It's just a wild game. Either team could have won, but they didn't really impress me in that game either. I don't think very highly of their defense, especially without Jair Alexander. So I'm going the over 44.5 here.
Yep, me too.
Kansas City 6.5-point favorites over the Washington football team. 55.5 points here. What is up with Washington's defense? Like I didn't know what to expect from their offense, but
they were going to be so much better.
They're bottom 5.
It sucks. This is such a high total for only one side having a good offense, really.
Yeah.
But
both sides have bad defenses.
Yeah, that's just the only bad part. And 55 is such a high number. Screw it. I mean, KC against the spread, they're 1-4 this year.
I know.
Same with Washington. So like
something's got to give.
Yeah, like something has to. I mean, I'm not touching it. I mean, KC this year with the spread, they're 4-1. Like that, they're 4-1 against the spread. So, or sorry, not the spread, the total. Sorry, the total.
Yeah.
So, but 55 is such a high number, man.
Yeah, that's the thing is they probably
I'm just not
need
to touch it. Yeah, I'm just not going to touch it.
They definitely need to store at least like 35.
Yeah.
Of that, like. So that's why I said this a couple weeks ago and it didn't happen. I'm going back to the well. I'm going Kansas City to cover this.
Yeah.
I know that they've been terrible against the spread. I think this is the week they break out of it. My normal 3-game NFL upset parlay is a 4-game this week. One of those games is Minnesota and Carolina, so I will not talk about it yet. But Minnesota is 1-point favorites, and the total here is 46.5.
I like the under.
Okay.
A little bit. I like the under. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Carolina's not losing. I'll put it that way. They shouldn't have lost last week. Idiots cost me a parlay.
Unbelievable. How dare they?
Idiots. Carolina stinks now, but they're not going to stink this week.
Yeah. The next game is going to be another one I can't talk about. Baltimore 3-point favorites over the Chargers. 52 points is the total.
I like the over. Both offenses are looking.
Did you see that chart?
Nice.
That chart. If we can get a repeat of that Chargers Browns game again this week, I'll take it.
Man, Lamar's looking real good this year. I hate to say it, but he is looking.
I think you're looking at 2 out of the 3 favorites right now for MVP.
Yeah,
actually, Brady's probably in the mix as well right now.
I would love for this to be another shootout. I just would love. I mean, Lamar probably is the favorite right now for MVP in my opinion.
He accounted.
I don't know his
300
numbers. Like offhand, but I mean, he
is the Ravens. I mean, anything that they do offensively is him. Like
all of his running backs tore their ACL, and he's just doing it all.
Cincinnati 3.5-point favorites over Detroit here. 47.5 is the total. I like Detroit to cover this 3.5. I actually was able to get them at 4. The line says since moved. It's at 3.5 now. But I still like them to cover that. They're playing so hard every single week. You can see it in Dan Campbell's tears.
That was crazy.
But Cincinnati also don't know what's going on with Burrow. I expect him to play, but that is such a weird situation with his throat contusion. They're not fully healthy. I still think they're going to take a step back defensively. So I got Detroit covering this.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit has to win at some point. They probably should have 2 wins. They should have 2 wins by now, in my opinion. They should have 2 wins. They should have beat Baltimore, but fucking Tucker decided to hit a 66-yard field goal. They should have won last week, too.
Beefy said BYU's covering 6.5, just saying. And we'll get there in a little bit, actually, because I got something for you. The Rams are 9.5-point favorites against the Giants, 48.5 points total. I don't know who's playing for the Giants. Like 9.5.
You're probably starting running back.
9.5 is a pretty high total, but like I know Daniel Jones practiced today, but that looked terrible. I hate seeing guys look like that. I thought he was just going to fall over walking.
Yeah.
Saquon's out. Their wide receiver room is just decimated right now. I'm taking the Rams to cover 9.5.
I just don't see how they don't cover the 9.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I would take them probably as high as like 12.5.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really don't see this game being close.
Cleveland, 3-point favorites over Arizona, 49.5. You guys are in luck because I'm not going to talk anymore about this game yet.
I mean, we can wait on this one because.
Ooh. Okay.
Denver
3.5-point favorites over the Las Vegas Raiders with a new football coach. 44.5-point total.
I like the Broncos to cover.
It's just, I hate betting on teams when they have an interim coach. Like I just feel like that provides a huge spark. It's just something you can't quantify and put into numbers. But Denver, we obviously saw them play against the Steelers. They're a tough team to figure out, right? Because they started out 3-0, but look who they played. They hung around for a while with the Ravens, and they only lost by 1 possession to us. Granted, it was garbage time to get them to that point. I can't get a gauge on what the Broncos are, but with all the turmoil that's going on right now with the Raiders, I got to agree with you here that Broncos cover 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas 3.5-point favorites over the Patriots. 51.5 points is the total here.
Man, this is tough.
Yeah, I I'm not betting on this one. I'm trying to decide what I would bet if I were going to.
I
New England
feel
had a tough time with Houston.
I feel like
And
Dallas is like a no-brainer. I feel like
their offense looks good. Their defense looks way better than I expected it to. Like Micah Parsons has made a huge difference. Obviously, Trayvon Diggs is getting an interception every single game. It's just a revamped unit. They look really good under Dan Quinn, terrible head coach, phenomenal defensive coordinator.
yeah. They could have the comeback player of the year, and they could have defensive player of the year at this rate because everyone keeps trying Diggs.
I just realized Drew's in the YouTube chat right now, and he was typing in the Twitter one, and then realized, oh yeah, that doesn't work anymore. StreamYard needs to get that figured out because like it was so nice with Periscope, and now it's just like Twitter directly connected to it, and the comments just don't come through. Here we go. Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh 4.5-point favorites over Seattle. Now this did open up as like 1.5. 42.5 points, the lowest total of the entire NFL slate for Sunday Night Football. What do we got here?
I'll actually be there, so I'm going to Sunday Night Football. So we're going to go Steelers -4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is.
You sound like LeBron counting his championships.
I like going to games and play some bets while I'm there. So I just feel like the Steelers are going to cover. I don't usually bet on the Steelers, as everyone knows, but since I'll be there, might as well.
Yeah, for me, it's just going to be player props, which I'll put out in advance of the game. What I will say, man, based off last week, look at Seattle's defense. They're on pace to be historically the worst defense of all time right now. Whatever Najee's prop is, double it, and I'll still take it.
Yeah,
like I don't care.
He looked really good last week too.
The offensive line,
with the whole line, really.
Yeah,
And
then to wrap things up on Monday Night Football, we got Buffalo 5.5-point favorites over Tennessee. 54.5 is the total here. Buffalo, after week one, after the Steelers beat them in week one, they've looked like the best team in football, or at least the AFC. We can talk about the Cardinals more here in a second, but the Titans just have so much uncertainty to them. They're a run-first team. Both their number one receivers have been banged up throughout the year. A.J. Brown did come back. He had like 2 catches or something for 30 yards. Just really wasn't effective in that game on Sunday. I like the Bills to cover this. Even though Tennessee was a team at the beginning of the year that I had, pegged as a playoff team, and they still might, you look at that division, and they still definitely could make the playoffs. I like the Bills to cover this.
As of right now, Titans +5.
Okay. Oh, you got them at 5?
Yeah.
It's a 5.5. Okay, it's a 5.5 now.
Why
do you say as of right now? By the way, Julio practiced today, Drew saying.
This is like, okay, so right now, off action, 80% of the bets are on the Bills. Okay. 91% of the money is on the Bills. That's like spread and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that the Titans are just going to keep it close. This is just going to be a statement game for them. The Bills could still be riding, that win, just punching Casey in the mouth in KC. Like, that's crazy. But the only way they keep it close, though, is if Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. Cause,
that's what I'm saying. Like, Derrick Henry's probably going to have like close to 200 yards from scrimmage if they keep this game close or if they win. Mm-hmm. That's what it's going to take. Buffalo, I don't know how.
Buffalo has looked really good, though.
It's hard for me to not pick them to cover 5.5 after watching them beat KC by 18. And I know that's fool's gold. I'm chasing something that's not there right now. But, okay, so let's talk about my upset parlay real quick, okay? So normally this is 3 teams. Ryan talked me into adding a 4th team. So it's even juicier for you guys this week. $10 wins you close to 300 on this bad boy. If you're wondering the success rate of my upset picks, through 5 weeks, I'm 2-3. Now, I've hit on like 2 out of the 3 legs pretty much every time, and it's been one game that screwed me up. This week, we're going 4 for 4, baby. Chargers are beating the Ravens. Jacksonville is beating Miami for their first win. Urban Meyer with these 2 fingers is leading the Jacksonville Jaguars to their first win of the season. The Arizona Cardinals, obviously they're winning. And finally, this is the one Ryan talked me into. Carolina over Minnesota. Carolina's at home. CMC gonna be back. Well, wait, did he play last week? I was at the Steelers game. I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, he was doubtful and then he didn't play. Right. They were saying the whole week he might and then he didn't. I just $10, man, on this is gonna win you $290.30.
I just don't see how Carolina is the underdogs. Like, they're at home, they're playing Minnesota. Carolina has a top defense.
Drew saying he doesn't think CMC plays this week. Are they on a bye next week? Is that why you say that? No, they're not.
They're not?
What's been his status at practice and stuff, though? 50-50 to play versus Vikings. First thing I see when I open up the score was Matt Roll says 50-50. Listen, with or without Christian McCaffrey, Chuba Hubbard is going to have over 100 yards from scrimmage if McCaffrey doesn't play. Don't include that in this parlay, but it's going to happen.
Okay.
Anyway, let's recap this. Chargers over the Ravens, Jaguars over the Dolphins, Cardinals over the Browns, Panthers over the Vikings. $10 on that, $290.30.
I like it.
And then you know what you do with that money? You buy tickets to the Steelers-Bears game to come hang out with the boys from Platt's Picks.
We will both be there. We will both be there.
All right, so what are your thoughts on that? Let me ask you, which one do you think out of those is the least likely to happen?
It just scares me a little bit. Like, I know Arizona is such a great football team. They look so good. But, like, something about, like, I think they're 5-0 now? 5. Yes. It just scares me that they're still undefeated. I don't know.
Hey, the Steelers won 11-0 last year.
That is true, too. That is true, too. I think maybe that would be the only team, but I really don't see Cleveland beating them. Baker's very unserious, so...
Those running backs are so stupid. It's so dumb that they have both of them.
Yeah. It's just dumb. And I hate that they don't use Nick. Like, they use Nick Chubb, but they don't use Nick Chubb. Like, I wish they would use him more. But
yeah, their usage is very odd. Like, it's almost like he's kind of taking a back seat in most weeks to Kareem Hunt. And that could just be game script dependent or whatever, but I mean, Drew's talked about it a lot on the fantasy show. If Chubb doesn't score a touchdown, there's a lot of weeks where he's not providing you running back one value. And you were drafting this guy probably the back end of round 1 or very early round 2, at the very least. So, all right. So this is where Beefy's going to fall in love with me here. Okay. Oh, wait. No. I got to give you my regular college football plays first. So we can just go back and forth on this. I don't know how many college football plays you got.
I have 1, 2, 3. I have 5.
I also have 5.
Okay.
Other than my upsets. All right. Auburn, Arkansas over 52.5. Really liked what I saw from Arkansas's offense in that game against Ole Miss. I think they can put up points. Bo Nix is so erratic. He's so up and down. The dude's an absolute roller coaster. But at the end of the day, I still think that Arkansas on their own against Auburn is going to get relatively close to this total. I think Auburn only needs to score like 20 or so points in this game. Arkansas can get them the rest of the way there. I'm going over 52.5 in this game.
This one, I have Bama minus 8.5 in the first half.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, they lost last week. Crazy. Saban's just going to have them so prepared that they might beat Mississippi State by like 50.
All right, well, here's the thing. I might as well go to this pick. I got Mississippi State plus 17.5 against Bama.
Hey, I mean, they can cover the 17.5. Just
yeah. No, Alabama's going to win this football. Alabama's going to win this football game, and I think it still could even be by double digits. It's just 17.5.
Okay.
So that's my second one. I thought I'd just bring it. I had that lower down on the list, but I just figured since you segued.
Let's see. This I still don't get this line. Syracuse plus 13.5 versus Clemson. Clemson is, let's see, just so I can get this right. I mean, Clemson is terrible. They are 0-5 against the spread this year. So every game they haven't covered it. I still think that this is too much. So I'm just gonna pick Syracuse to cover the 13.5.
This one might surprise people. Oklahoma minus 10.5 against TCU. They're covering this. The reason being, Spencer Rattler no longer going to be QB1. I know Lincoln Riley refuses to say it. Some dude up in his dorm room got wind of practice today at Oklahoma. Caleb Williams was QB1 for Oklahoma. That's how it's going to be on Saturday. I trust him a hell of a lot more than Spencer Rattler. I think that they cover this.
I actually didn't even add that in there, but now that I know Spencer Rattler is not the QB, I'm going to have to bet that.
There's never been a more unserious player in college football.
Yeah. So my next one is Florida minus 10.5 versus LSU.
Florida's going to be one of those teams I think that I just can't bet on again. The only reason being that they burned me.
They
Listen, dude,
yeah.
I could have won $200 and they didn't cover versus Kentucky. So
yeah, Kentucky's playing Georgia this
week.
Actually,
they didn't. They didn't just not cover. They lost the football.
Yeah, they lost.
So.
Kentucky's playing Georgia this week too.
I know. Yeah, so. What is it like? What are they favored by? 19.5 or something?
Yeah,
like that.
The total is the under has been money the first 5 weeks. Now it's at 43. I just feel like that's
yeah.
Georgia has a good defense, but last week they only covered it by 2 points. So.
Of course, Wisconsin's going to be on here. Army, Wisconsin, under 40. Neither one of those teams put up points. Wisconsin, because their quarterback stinks. Army, because they don't even try to have a quarterback. I don't see a way that this touches 40 points. I think it's going to be a 17-10 game, something stupid like that.
Yeah. So this is another one. This is bias talking here, but Pitt's covering versus Virginia Tech, and the over's hitting.
Hey, Pitt's my final one. I got every Pitt game I bet the over. So yeah, it's 57.5. Somewhat high, but Pitt has 3 games this year where they've scored 50.
Pitt, I don't know if this is even a hot take or not. I think Pitt has the best offense in the ACC and the best quarterback.
I thought you were saying the FBS, and I was like.
No, I can't do that. As much as I want to say that, yeah, but
Beefy wants to know if Pitt will be favored at home versus Clemson.
I think if they win this week,
they're going to be in the top 25. Then
okay, that makes sense because they're going to Tech and they're coming home to face Clemson. I think if they win this week, they'll be top 25 and they'll be favored versus Clemson.
Especially because we're both thinking that Clemson's going to struggle with Syracuse.
They've struggled all year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now my upset parlay here to finish things off.
Okay.
This is where Beefy becomes a big fan. BYU over Baylor.
Ooh, okay.
And UCLA over Washington. I'm throwing $10 on that to win 52-58. And I didn't say that it can win 52-58. I'm saying it's going to win 52-58. We're breaking it out. The hammer is coming out. BYU bounces back from the loss last week, and they beat Baylor by, what's that? You want a score prediction? They're beating them by at least a touchdown.
Ooh, okay.
If you shut down Baylor's run game, that's it. They're going to sleep.
BYU game last week was so weird.
They shot themselves in the foot. 5 turnovers.
They never fumble. That running back never fumbles. He fumbled 3 times, I think. Or maybe he fumbled twice, but the team fumbled 3 times. And they even had a chance to do it at the end. But they just shot themselves in the foot too much. They should have won.
Do you have any upset favorites this week?
Let me look again.
Because here's what I'll leave this off with. I'm not putting this in the parlay because I'm not super confident in it. But I'm putting $15 on Purdue Moneyline over Iowa.
Really?
The new number 2 in the country. Here's the reason. Purdue is coming off of a bye. Iowa's defense is fantastic, right? But their offense is not.
Okay.
They are 140th in the country in offense. Purdue has 2 weeks to prepare for that offense. I don't think it's a question that Iowa loses that football game to Penn State if Sean Clifford doesn't get hurt. Purdue is coming into this game plus 400 on the money line. I think that you got to put something on this, man.
Yeah, I had Iowa last week, so bless up. Not for injuries, terrible for Sean Clifford, but thank God he, but that Penn State backup quarterback sucks.
Horrible. I don't understand how these Power 5 conferences, especially like a team like Penn State, right? Like one of the most prestigious colleges in the country. That's what you're recruiting at the quarterback position.
Yeah, and I don't think he was a freshman either. Like he was there for a while.
Oh, hey, by the way, if you would have put, we were talking earlier before we started, Montreal and Toronto both did score in that first period.
Oh, really?
So that boost would have hit, yeah.
Okay, so I like UCLA, like you. But we're going to get weird. And we're going to get real weird. Army money line versus Wisconsin.
Wow.
We're going to get weird. We are going to get weird. Plus 450. We're going to get weird. Everyone knows Wisconsin stinks. Very unserious. Army is winning.
I'm telling you, Graham Mertz is literally my least favorite person I've ever watched play quarterback.
I know, like we talked about this before. That week 1 game, Wisconsin and Penn State, had to be the worst football game I have ever watched.
If I was coaching one of those teams, we would have started punting on second down. That was if we can't run the ball and get a first down on first down, we're just giving the ball back to the other team and hoping they give us a pick 6 or something. I mean,
that game was so bad. How about real quick that Iowa? Like, why were they like QB kneeling with like 2 minutes left? And they were just like, we're gonna punt this ball back to Penn State because we know they can't get a first down.
That's the thing. It didn't matter. Like, they could have ran down to their own 1 yard line and purposely fumbled, and it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, good God, watching some of these college teams are brutal, and it's crazy because like on the reverse side of that, those defenses are so good.
I know. If I don't really understand, I don't know how I missed this game. Here's another pick of mine. I just tracked on action. It's going to be
Arizona State's definitely beating Utah, by the way.
Ole Miss minus 2.5 versus Tennessee.
See, I've seen a lot of people like I want to take that too. I've seen a lot of people taking Tennessee to cover.
Yeah, there's 61% of the bets are on Tennessee.
Yeah,
76% of the money is on Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little weird to me. I feel like
surprised. I'm very surprised by it.
Let's see. I was gonna say Utah, but Utah stinks. So, I mean, imagine just living in Utah. So,
yeah, I like Arizona State in that game. I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels, their quarterback.
He looked really good against. I don't know who they played last week, but they blew him out. I think.
Donnie said Chargers plus 3 over Baltimore is a lock. Donnie, welcome to the show, pal.
Okay.
We got Chargers money line. They don't need that plus 3. Get that out of here. They're winning this game straight up.
Dude, you're not betting on 0-5 Arizona and 1-4 Colorado?
No, that's honestly, I'd rather watch Graham Mertz. So, no, we're not betting on that game.
That was like that game last week. There were 2 like 0-4 teams. I forget who. I think it was UConn and UMass, maybe or something.
We talked about that week 1 game between Penn State and Iowa, or Penn State and Wisconsin. That's like 11 Cliffords against 11 Graham Mertzes. That's what that football game is to me.
Oh man.
Donnie said bet the mortgage. I not doing that, but I feel pretty good about it.
That's probably it.
That's all I got. As you guys can see, this show is becoming a little bit more diverse now that we're going to include some NHL picks. Now that that Platt is one of the sharps in the NHL world now.
Real quick, this is like the perfect time to be a sports bettor.
Oh,
and a sports fan now, because you have the NFL and you have college. Baseball's getting towards the end, which sucks, but NBA. And
the Dodgers and Red Sox are still playing, and the Astros. Yeah.
NBA starts in I think a week. Right now, I have a bold prediction. I know Beefy's still here. Steph Curry is winning MVP this year. I don't know what the odds is. I think Steph wins MVP.
Let's take a look real quick while we're on here at NBA future bets and see.
I think Steph wins MVP. Let's see. Futures.
Yeah, look at players.
Steph Curry's plus 800 right now.
Yeah, so he's tied for the fourth best odds.
The favorite is Luka.
Fourth worst odds, I should say.
But I really think Steph
Luka's the favorite. So based off odds, honestly, the person that I'm probably sprinkling something on, actually the two players I'm sprinkling something on, Jason Tatum at plus 2,400. I really like that. And Devin Booker at plus 2,800 if he can repeat what he did. And the Suns repeat what they did.
Okay. Now let's see. Let's find something.
I mean, that's just stupid. Those are stupid numbers. I mean, Devin Booker plus 2,800.
Let's see.
You could throw $5 on that. You win 140 if it happens. I mean, that's Ben Simmons scoring title. What are the odds for him to shoot less than 20% from the field? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, I saw he reported to Philly or something the other day. Hey, Kyrie's not going to play this year.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if that changed Durant and Harden's odds because of that.
I'm sure.
What else do we got? Anything else?
That's probably it for now.
So yeah, basically what I was getting at. So from now on, what you guys are going to see on here is, of course, we're going to go through the entire NFL slate, but that's going to be it in terms of literally game by game and saying if we have action on. Other than that, if we have bets in the NHL, pretty soon the NBA as the MLB wraps up.
College basketball, best time of the year.
College basketball.
It's coming.
Any other sport that's going on, we will just discuss picks that we're actually going to make, not literally bring up every single game as we do in the NFL. With Clay back, you throw in a little something on the Warriors, odds are probably good.
To win it? I mean...
you mean I might throw something on them to make the playoffs.
I mean, they're 1,200 to win the title. And honestly, it's not that out of the way. Really?
Yeah, they're the fourth best odds to win the title.
You get Clay back. You got those two rookie shooters. Draymond, if he's not being an idiot, yelling at
Donnie
the refs.
said, "Can't wait to give out soccer locks."
Oh,
there we go.
I might have to tell. Let's see.
I got my NBA championship pick, by the way.
Do you?
Yep.
It's probably like freaking Dallas or something. Dallas?
It is Dallas.
Really?
It is Dallas. Man. I don't actually think they're going to win it, but at plus 3,000 odds.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it, really. Let's see.
I mean, hey, if they think Luka's going to win the MVP.
Trying to see. Here we go. Let's go here. Yeah, Golden State to make the playoffs is minus 550.
That's crazy. No thanks.
Let's see.
Literally zero value in betting on that.
Yeah, there's just no way that's happening. I found my bet.
All right.
I found my bet. This is being homerish here. To make the playoffs.
Just a champagne.
The San Antonio Spurs plus 1,040.
Wow.
Putting $10 on it. I'm putting $10 on it.
Let's wrap up with this. Donnie, I hate you for this question. Because we started off the show talking about what happened to me last night.
Oh.
And I'm trying to think back if I've had any between those two, right? Between the Dodgers and Giants and the Pens going over 6 last night. I'm trying to think back if I've had anything worse happen to me.
College, there was one college game last year. But recently is Texas being up 30 and losing.
Yeah, that's within a week, right? Within a week, I had that Texas thing happen to me. The Pens and Bolts go over 6, and the Giants lose by 5 and not cover 4.5. Oh yeah, Beefy's ridiculous. I remember Beefy was trying betting $100 to make like 25 cents in tennis. Or something stupid like that.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Trying to stack that bankroll with just like ridiculously stacked odds tennis matches. Texas beat was brutal. Yeah. Why are you guys all joining and getting so interactive in the chat now? 50 minutes into this thing when we're already done talking about everything. When they scored on how many want to cover, Texas beat was brutal. If Texas played UConn, I'm betting on UConn to cover. I'm done. I'm done with Texas. They're so not back. It's unreal. I don't think I've ever seen a less serious program in my life. Whatever they're doing there, scrap everything. I'm sick of it.
I just can't believe they blew that game. They were up 30. 30. Oh my. I know like they don't play defense, but when you're up 30, like you shouldn't lose a game.
If you're up 30 points and you put us two and the people that are in the chat right now on the field, we better be able to hold them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And oh hey, yeah, Beefy just brought up a great point. Hey, we just blew this 30-point lead. Now we're heading to the SEC in a couple years.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh my goodness. They're going to be the laughing stock. Their running back is nice.
Yeah.
John Robinson.
Yeah. BYU's is
run the wheels off Najee and get him out of town. Bring him to John Robinson.
That's like my one like bad feeling because I texted Jamal about this. Like they're just gonna run him, like they did Lev, you know. But like
the dude's gonna be dead in 4 years. We're gonna be
that's what we said. I feel like he's gonna burn out like sooner because he's more
we're gonna
physical
be
back.
We're gonna be retiring the number 22 and put him in the Ring of Honor in like 2025.
Yeah, it's terrible, but do what you got to do. It's the Steeler way. Standard is the standard.
God, he's gonna have arthritis in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Standard is the standard. But no, they do. The running game looked pretty solid last week, and I expect them to be able to find that same formula against Seattle's atrocious. Seattle's defense literally is us. I mean, we said that we could play defense for Texas with a 30-point lead. I mean...
Oh, I'm going to have to clip that part.
Texas just gave up another touchdown right now.
Right now, yeah. Oh, brother.
Texas scored a touchdown. He's now cut to 44. And he tried to left center. This show went off the rails tonight. This does not typically happen. But
no.
Donnie got home late from work and jumped in the chat, and it just set everything off. BYU is going to beat Baylor. It's a future Big 12 rivalry. I'm not saying it's going to be a vintage Ben game, but I'm also not saying it. I literally was thinking this. I was about to tweet it out, and I wish I would have, because you're not going to believe me that I was thinking this. But I was thinking in the back of my head, like, even as bad as Ben has looked for the better portion of this season, I still think we're going to see like 1 or 2 vintage games. Sunday Night Football against the 32 ranked defense. Like, what better spot is there than that happening?
Yeah.
Granted, no Juju now.
Yeah.
But
that sucks.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of turning back the clock on Sunday night. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen Sunday night.
So do you think, real quick, do you think Anthony Miller is going to be the slot guy, or do you think it'll be Claypool?
Well, Anthony Miller's, you mean like long term, right? Not this Sunday.
Yeah, no, not this Sunday, obviously. I feel like they should put Claypool in the slot. Like I really do. And just don't have him keep running.
I mean,
like,
they were actually
routes.
attacking the middle of the field.
Yeah, like I would love to see him run like actual routes and not just a go route.
Ray gets first dibs, IMO. The one thing I will say about Ray, man, like I've been watching a lot of him. this year, like going back and watching. Shout out to Tyler Wise from Steelers Depot on Twitter because he's been putting up some stuff. I never realized how like willing he was as a blocker. Like he is literally putting his body on the line this year, throwing blocks. And I mean, somebody's gonna have to do it without Juju doing those dirty things in the wide receiver room. And maybe it is Ray, but I hope we see Miller after the bye. Yeah, he's gonna take some time to get caught to speed. The good news is he's wearing number 17. So I mean, cash money. He's gonna be good for the rest of the season once he is caught up to speed. But yeah, now we're not even like talking about bets. We're just talking about Steelers. So this just further goes to show that we're going completely off the rails tonight. He's been blocking like a man. I guess that's a pretty good way of putting it. Oh, what do you guys think of my shirt, by the way? Also was sported by Boston Connor earlier today on the Pat McAfee show. Sports Stooge.
There we go.
Miller might be a Hall of Famer in 17. Cody White is a really good blocker at receiver, man. It's a shame that he couldn't make the most of that opportunity on Sunday.
Capitals are in the lead as we speak.
Is it just 1-0 still?
Yeah, 1-0.
All right, but anyway, guys. I should have hit up Antoine Randall well. You guys are the best, and by that I mean worse. Let us know what kind of action you guys got going on. If you guys are placing sports bets, please get an action account so we can follow each other. We can track each other's stuff. I started following a ton of like people that are like the best in the business at doing that based off how many units they're up in their lifetime. So, trying to learn something that way. It'd be a pleasure to be able to see what you guys are doing and interact with you guys and see what Devin Bush never scored. Oh, that's true. On Sunday, on Sunday, we were sitting with Drew and his wife, Zana, right? Sarge and I.
Yeah. Okay.
I was wearing a Deontay Johnson jersey. He scored the first touchdown. Drew was, what was Drew wearing? Oh, a Najee jersey. Najee scored the second touchdown. Zana was wearing a Claypool jersey. And Claypool scored the third touchdown. But Sarge was wearing a Devin Bush jersey.
Come on.
And he got hurt. So
great.
But he did have a sack earlier in the game, so I guess that kind of counts. But hey, thank you guys for joining in and then making this the most interactive episode I think we've had, even though a lot of it had literally nothing to do with about picks for the week. And we just kind of started talking about the Steelers. But hey, that's what happened. Zach Gentry, first touchdown score. Put it in the books. Throw something on it.
Okay.
But other than that, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Platt's Picks Pod. As always, you guys know we'll be back next Wednesday for yet another episode. Until then, best of luck this week with your bets. Get at us on Twitter, and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.